like to call the August meeting of the Board of Trustees to order. And we can do a real quick agenda review, and then we'll get started. So first off, we'll look at the meetings from the July meetings and vote to approve if necessary. There is a public comment section that is next, and for any of the public that would like to speak, you're welcome to sign up on the podium there, and we'll give you a few minutes to have public comment. There's a number of items of chair business. We'll then have an executive director update, chair discussion on culture and management practices with a bit of a preliminary report from our third-party consultant, finance committee with a monthly update, governance committee with a couple of items, orders of business, followed by education committee reports, fundraising committee reports, and then we will confirm agenda for next meeting. We will be adjourning into executive session at the end of the meeting for contract negotiations with non-represented personnel, and we will not be reconvening in public session. Are there any questions on the agenda?
So, Jess and I would like to add just after, I guess, the fundraising committee representative update or discussion.
Yeah. When we get there, we'll talk about adding that as a permanent item, if that's okay.
Great, thank you. Can I also ask, when you go into executive session, is that one of the ones that I'm not allowed to?
That is one of those.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you're not coming back, then I could maybe go home?
Yes, you may. Unless you want to hang around.
I might actually have to go upstairs and clean my desk because it's a disaster.
Okay. Any other concerns about the agenda?
No.
All right, let's get on with take a look at the minutes that are in your packet.
Just a comment, just so you know that Jess's disapproval came through, so she is a voting member now.
Congratulations. So we have 3 sets of minutes. We have July 29th, August 11th, and August 12th. Just take a look through the July 29th meeting minutes.
Oh, maybe it's, okay, I got it. Oh, I got 3, I'm good.
Any questions or corrections?
On the July 29th, under Education Committee, I think it should say, this will be discussed at the next Education Committee meeting, not the September BOP meeting. So September Education Committee meeting.
Sarah, did you get that?
Yes,
Okay.
I would ask that you would send, if you're going to do more, are you going to be doing any more of these?
I don't know.
Last time we got a lot of them, and we were trying to get the corrections together.
If we have more than one, I will let you know.
Okay.
I'll send you an email.
The Education Committee, instead of meeting September, is supposed to be, you'll discuss it at the...
Next education
Yeah, it
committee meeting.
should say this will be discussed at the September Ed Committee meeting versus BOP meeting.
Thank you.
There's a very large spider right in the middle.
I was going to comment on the tarantula.
And I don't want it to crawl up somebody's leg. So I'm going to kill it. Sorry.
You're my, you're my, I'm
Comes this way, we're not coming this way. Okay. Problems out. Now we got Peter complaint.
That was some executive.
Yeah, I didn't want it to crawl, and it would further disrupt if somebody was had a spider crawl.
Oh my God.
So we have one change. Anything else, Melissa, or others?
I don't see.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the July 29th meeting with the one change to the Ed Committee section.
Second? All in favor?
Oh, I can vote.
Those opposed? Motion passes, minutes approved. Let's move on to 11. comment? All right.
And make a motion to approve the minutes of the August 11th meeting.
Second. Pauline, all in favor? Those opposed? The motion passes. Minutes approved. We are required to do this by law to the audience, so this is not something that's our favorite part of the meeting. So now on to the August 12th.
Should, at this meeting, at the end of the executive session, Scott and Melissa and I talked to just sort of attendees. Should that be reflected in the minutes, or do we not need to?
No, that wasn't part of the meeting.
I would say that was beyond the end of the meeting.
Okay.
It was actually in the middle.
No.
It's only a break.
All right. Is there a motion to approve?
We make a motion to approve the August 12th meetings.
Second.
Pauline seconds, all in favor? All opposed, motion passes. All right. Do we have public comment? Yes,
Sorry, correct, make that someone's video.
So I think we're supposed to announce to the public that there's video recording in session. Anything else, Roger, Pauline? It's got to be part of the record, I believe.
Is that part of the, was that in the July 29th meeting? Did we put that? That was recorded correctly, correct?
It was.
Yeah.
So we do need to add a note in there that
Yeah.
the
29.
July 29th meeting was recorded.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Natalia.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to extend my thank you to the Intra-Team Search Committee, Jessica, Scott, and Melissa, for doing a terrific job over the summer when we were all on vacation and working very hard to find great candidates, and wanted to extend my welcome to Dr. Mello. I'm very excited to have and looking forward to your leadership. And one thing I wanted to check, it's not on the agenda, but I think it was in the May meeting that you were discussing the school council, formation of the school council. So I wanted to check where we stand on that and whether you have any updates and status on that.
Yeah, I think you could certainly respond if you want, or contact Dr. DeMello afterwards.
I'm happy to respond.
Go
That's
ahead.
convenient.
Go ahead.
I've been made aware of that, and so my plan is that I'd like to try to get that started. I hope folks will be a little bit patient. That I want to get through at least September, but I think that it's something that I would like to consider starting. But I have considered whether or not I should wait until a permanent person comes on board. And so I haven't announced the rest of the timeline yet, but the timeline that will be developed is anticipating that with the next round of advertisements and then the interview process, that I would like to keep my fingers crossed that for January, we would have a new principal on board, I hope. So having said that, I would like to hold off until January until the new principal can form it. However, I'll have a better sense by October about whether or not we should just move forward and create one earlier. So more information to follow, and I'm going to count on you to make sure I give it to you. So.
Okay, I will follow up. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, on to a few items of chair business. We have an update on an existing formal complaint, and I believe, Tom, are you going to lead that update?
Yep. So we've concluded our investigation at this point in time. So just the background on this, we received a formal complaint from parents regarding unauthorized use of their credit card. They provided their credit card number over the telephone for an overdue payment of regional busing fees. Subsequently, they noted 3 charges on their credit card that they did not recognize. We interviewed one of the parents filing the complaint and also interviewed finance personnel at the school. We reviewed the school's process for accepting credit card payments, existing policy, and all credit card transactions processed at the school for the last year. Finally, we reviewed the findings of the clerk magistrate in the Dedham Court, who conducted a separate independent evaluation of the matter. Consistent with the clerk magistrate, it is our conclusion that, while regrettable, an inadvertent error was made and nothing more. In order to eliminate the possibility of a similar error occurring in the future, we have revised school policy so credit card payments may only be accepted through secure electronic means. The board adopted these changes at the July 29, 2014 meeting. We do not recommend any other changes at this time.
Do the board members have questions or comments on the report?
So Tom, the changes were part of that employee manual, right?
Correct.
And you feel comfortable, Tom, that the processes that are now in place are going to prevent this from happening in the future?
Correct. So we will not accept credit cards over the telephone, so we will never be in possession of a credit card, so an error can never happen again.
Okay. Other questions or comments? Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the findings of this complaint.
Okay. A second? Scott? All in favor? Those opposed? Motion passes. So this formal complaint is now closed. And we have in possession a new complaint. We need to assign that to a committee. I don't have the details. Polly, do you have the details in front of you? Did you give those to me?
No, yeah, that's the details I have you.
Okay. So, this is the June 27th. That's already been announced and is in work.
Right.
We
So you
received,
have to update on that.
we received a complaint on August 25th from a former teacher alleging wrongful termination. And that was produced on the correct form. That complaint is being assigned to a task force consisting of Roger and myself. It is in line with the June 27th complaint that was filed, which alleged an unhealthy work environment by a teacher. So Roger and I will be working on both of these complaints. Roger, is there an update on the June 27th?
Certainly, I can provide an update
Okay.
once you finish. Do you want to finish the acceptance of the existing complaint?
I think we just have to read it, and now we've accepted it as a board, this formal complaint.
Right. It's very good. Regarding the brief update regarding the, what was the date on it, sorry?
June 27th.
The June 27th complaint, I have conducted an initial interview with the teacher, and we'll be continuing to provide updates as we move forward.
What is our required timeline?
Our required timeline is that we continue to provide updates on the complaint until we produce a final report.
Okay.
There's 45 days, but that has already passed.
Right. So on receipt of the initial complaint, we have 45 days to provide a written response to the person who filed the complaint. And then, as a board, we need to continue to provide an update at every board meeting
Until it's closed.
Until it's closed.
Okay. So for the public, there's a formalized complaint process on the website that is part of our procedures. Complainants are encouraged to follow the chain of command, so if they have an issue with the teacher, to go to a department chair, to go to the principal or the ED. They're not required to, but the complaint process and the forms are out on the website for future reference. We're just procedurally working through them. A task force of 1, 2, or 3 board members are generally assigned to work the issue, depending on bandwidth and complexity. So we've got 2 outstanding complaints within the board's possession right now.
Roger, do you have an estimate on sort of what a timeline would be to resolve that, or what are your next steps?
At this point, I don't have an estimate because I need to meet with Craig to provide an estimate. I can provide an estimate at the next meeting.
Yeah.
Will it be connected to the third-party assessment?
I believe that they are independent events, but
Okay.
not to the best of my knowledge, no. I haven't heard the third-party assessment, so there may be some overlap, but I believe that they're independent events.
Yeah, okay.
I think though historically, just complaints, it depends on how long it takes you to get to interview everyone and within the process, right?
Yeah, but mostly it's been that Craig and I have both been on vacation, and then it was summer, and that's the limiting factor. So I think we'll be able to provide I expect to provide a timeline at the next meeting.
Right, but the formal complaints generally take 3 or 4 months to like 8 or 9 months to resolve, because there's a lot to go through. So I think that's what you're looking for. Yeah, thank you.
All right, any other questions? Our next topic is a principal recruiting update. And Scott, who is providing that? Right. Not on that committee. Not on that committee.
We need to stop asking about that.
Go right ahead, Roger.
I'll start, and Dr. Miller can add on from the last meeting. We've formed helping to lead a principal search committee. With our role of this committee is to identify one or more candidates to present to Dr. DeMille for consideration as a principal. The committee consists of 2 board members, 1 department chair, 2 administrators, 4 teachers, and 3 parents.
And a guidance counselor. I forgot her when I sent out my email. I kind of got...
So we have met weekly during the summer after the last board meeting. We had screened the initial set of resumes. We interviewed a couple of candidates and had not, as a result of this whole process, we did not come up with anybody that we felt that could be nominated for consideration to the next step. We met with Dr. DeMille last week.
Yes.
And provided her an update on the status, and she's setting up a framework for us as to how to proceed. Maybe if you'd like to summarize at this point.
We'll be posting for the position. My hope is that we can get that out next week. So we'll be re-advertising for the position, and then we'll go through the steps again where the committee will be formed, the committee that exists will be reconvened, and if members who were serving need to be substituted out because they're not able to continue, we'll do that. Once that committee goes through the process, they'll screen the papers, they'll generate names that they would like to interview, and then from that, my hope is that they would then make recommendations to me for finalists. And then once the finalists are announced, and that part becomes now a public part of the process, then we'll arrange for an open session so that the public can meet. We'll have internal interviews as well to get to know the candidates before I make a final decision. It is likely that somebody that is selected may have a requirement from their existing position, so they may not be able to start right away. We also anticipate that, which is why it may be even if we were to find a final candidate by the end of October, it may be that they're locked into a contract, and that might push us into sort of the start of the year. So that's kind of what I'm anticipating will happen. But as I stated in an email, I hope that folks receive that I sent out for an update, that we're going to go through the process again, but we will not rush just so that we get a candidate in place. We'll take our time to make sure that it's the right fit for AMSA.
Dr. DeMille, do you think that for a principal position, would you do site visits if they're in an existing position in the
It's a
district?
possibility. It's something that we could talk about. There's different camps of thought on that, but
I'm not sure. In my experience, I wasn't sure if they do that at the principal level or if that's really just for superintendent.
generally, I don't think I've seen that done at a principal level that I'm recalling, but that's not to say we couldn't do it if we felt it was appropriate.
Did the search committee consider other avenues to find candidates other than